Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. NVIDIA is up again today about 4.5%. In last 6 days, NVIDIA is up about 22%. In this video, we'll discuss what's the maximum level NVIDIA can touch before earnings using forward PE, technical charts, and data analysis. Let's get started. Starting with the daily summary, Nvidia opened at 124.28. It made a high 130.00. It made a low 123.42 and it closed at 130.00. That is 4.35% up. So 6 days in a row Nvidia is up and that is about 22%. So I was expecting some kind of slowdown or sideways movement on Nvidia because Nvidia was up 5 or 6 days in a row. But Nvidia again showed a positive, strong momentum today. But I still think Nvidia should take a dip before the earnings. I'm not sure when that gonna happen, exactly which day, but it could be any day before the earnings. Moving on, last 5 days, Nvidia up about 15.6%. Last 1 month, Nvidia is up about 10.23%. And last 6 months, Nvidia is up about 87.2%. So it's not just Nvidia, the whole market was up today. For example, S&P is up today about 0.97%. Nasdaq is up about 1.39%, and Dow Jones is up about 0.58%. As we already knew that there was no major data gonna be published today, right? So with the absence of any other economic data, market had no big reason to go down. So it maintained its positive momentum. And also, if you take a look, the geopolitical tension or situation is cooling down. There was no attack from Iran so far, and the agreement between those two parties in the Middle East that they were fighting with each other for so many months, right? Finally, what I see that the agreement is gonna be finalized anytime soon. So we can also expect that the tension and the fight between those two parties should go down in next few days. I'm talking about this agreement that Biden administration is working on. So finally, the hope is they're gonna be approved by both parties. Now let's take a look forward P for Nvidia and other AI stocks. Nvidia forward P at this point is at 45.42, higher than the last week closing. Palantir also went up 95.59 versus last week closing 94.35. SMCI no major change 19.6 versus 19.7 end of last week. AMD also had a good day today 43.38 versus 41.51. As I mentioned last month and also before, that Nvidia forward P above 50 is a danger zone. So we should be very careful and cautious to make any buy when Nvidia forward P is above 50. What price level it translates to? Let's do the calculation. So I did the math. So 50 forward P for Nvidia translates to the stock price of 143. So Nvidia price level of 143 probably is the highest point Nvidia can reach before the earnings, not higher than that. And that is based on the forward PE. It does not mean that Nvidia 100% sure gonna touch 143. It means that even if Nvidia goes up next few days, it's highly unlikely that Nvidia go above 143 based on the forward PE. Now let's take a look historical data analysis for Nvidia. As you see on your screen, the cumulative percentage change for Nvidia for this quarter. At this point, Nvidia is up about 36.1% from the previous earnings announcement. In the last quarter, Nvidia was up about 38.1%. So still, Nvidia has some room to go further up in this quarter, probably few more points. So this historical data analysis does not suggest that Nvidia would go around 143. So this analysis suggests that Nvidia would go few more points before the earnings, but not gonna touch 143. Now let's take a look at my price projections for Nvidia that I shared with you last month and before. So based on my price projections for Nvidia that I did last month, the maximum point Nvidia should touch was 139.17 before the earnings, and I still think that based on the price projection analysis, Nvidia should not go above 139 before the earnings. Regarding my position, I still have Nvidia stocks. I did not sell it. I'm still watching the situation. Probably before the earnings, I have the plan to sell some Nvidia stocks because I think that Nvidia might take a little dip before the earnings. So I can rebuy Nvidia stocks. But I can be wrong also. You never know. Before the earnings, things are volatile or fluid, right? Nobody can say for sure Nvidia would go up this much or would go down this much, right? Now let's take a look technical charts for Nvidia. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia and also Bollinger Bands. As we noticed on Friday and Thursday last week, some stairs pattern that's going up, and we have noticed that third stair were in the making on Thursday and Friday, and I had the opinion that if that happens, Nvidia should touch 130. So that's what happened today. And also, if we see fourth stair gonna be in making in next few days, and that should touch 140. And 140 is also the highest point in this quarter. So technical charts is also suggesting that Nvidia should not go above 140 before the earnings. Now let's take a look at Fibonacci levels. So now I show you Fibonacci levels on your screen. As we noted on Friday and Thursday, the next level of resistance was 125, and I had the opinion that this resistance is a strong resistance, right? Nvidia tried to break it about two times last week, you see here and also here. Finally, Nvidia was able to break this resistance level today. And after that, the next resistance is at 140.56. The lower side, we see 115.88, the next support level, and after that is 108.26. So if Nvidia takes a dip in next few days before the earnings, it should go and try to touch 115. But I'm not seeing that Nvidia should go below 115 and touch 108 before the earnings. Now let's take a look MACD chart. MACD chart still shows the strong positive momentum on Nvidia since past few days. You see that MACD line is above zero line and continues to go up since this morning. Now let's talk about some news regarding Nvidia. Let's take a look. This one that says Nvidia's stock is up 30% from August lows and earnings could further its momentum. This kind of makes sense. We still see a strong momentum on Nvidia, and after earnings, we might experience the momentum as well. But also at the same time, it would depend on the earnings number. Market at this time is very optimistic. It assumes that Nvidia should be reporting very strong earnings and also the sales guidance. So let's suppose if Nvidia was not able to report good earning beat as they did last quarter, then Nvidia should be going down after that. So either possibility exists at this point. Now, this one interesting. Nancy Pelosi is not happy. She is criticizing the California AI regulation as well intentioned but ill informed. Would bill hurt her tech investment? It looks like she is kind of worried, that bill might impact the AI chip sector momentum, right? Because whenever you have some new bills, it kind of slow down or put more restrictions on the overall business. So that's in general is not good. But we cannot jump to conclusion. We'll see how market behaves when the bill comes in action. So this one is good about Nvidia that says Nvidia shares are trading higher after Goldman Sachs maintain a buy rating and keep the price target to 135. So Goldman Sachs is bullish on Nvidia and that's a good sign. And their price target of 135 kind of makes sense, but is at this point is reachable, right, before the earnings. So now this one is regarding AMD. AMD to make $4.9 billion AI acquisition as it steps up race against Nvidia. Now this one that says that Nvidia's AI chip competitors are bulking up. The stock is drifting. Let's open it. It's talking about Nvidia facing competition with its peers, Advanced Micro Devices, AMD. I'm not sure how much impact we should assume at this point. So now this one that says Taiwan Semiconductor acquires Hainan facility for $531 million. Plans major expansion. So that's a good thing. As we know that the sales outlook is very good for Taiwan. So good to see that they are planning ahead to manage the strong chip demand. I guess that's all about news regarding Nvidia. Let's take a look other AI stocks. So at this point, you see most of the AI stocks are positive today, with the exception of SMCI, SoundHound, and Apple. Overall, less than 1%. And the highest positive change we see is on AMD, that is 4.52%. As we noted, AMD did some acquisition, so that's helping AMD stock go up today. Let's talk about the economic calendar for this week. So, as we noticed on Friday and Thursday last week, there was not much coming on Monday today. Tuesday, also nothing much. Wednesday, we have minutes of Fed's July FOMC meeting. Thursday, we have weekly initial jobless claim, that's important. And on Friday, we have Mr. Powell's speech. So that will be also important. So that's all about NVIDIA analysis and assessment for today and rest of the week. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.